Alright, we are going to walk through the pathway of blood. So we have two heart models here, and I know sometimes it's easier to see if you're kind of thinking about this in 3D. It can be hard to picture the pathway if you're just looking at a book or something 2D like a computer screen. So we're going to go from the body through the heart to the lungs, back to the heart, and then out to the body again. It's one big circle. So let's look inside this bigger heart. If we take apart the top portion, we look inside, you'll see that there are 4 chambers. And in this order, blood comes through the right atrium to the right ventricle, and then up and out through this tube, which leads to the lungs. It will then drain back in through the left atrium into the left ventricle, and then be pushed up and out through this red tube, which is the aorta, which will go into the rest of your body. Now let's look at that with a little bit more detail. We'll use the one on the right. Let's first identify our 4 chambers. So we have in blue, this is the right atrium, the right ventricle. In this orange shade, this is the left atrium and the left ventricle. This is the biggest chamber, the left ventricle. So let's say that you have blood rushing through your body. It's going to enter into this right side one of 2 ways. Either through this top tube, which is called the superior vena cava, or if we get underneath, you'll see there's a tube coming from the bottom. That's the inferior vena cava. All of that is going to lead into this chamber, so this open hollow space. This is your right atrium. From here, we're going to drain that blood through this valve. This is called an AV valve, and if we open this chamber, we'll see that that leads into the right ventricle. So this tricuspid valve, you'll see 1, 2, 3 cusps. We'll zoom in a little bit closer so you can see that. There's 3 cusps there. That leads into the right ventricle. From here we need to get the blood to the lungs. So we're going to push this blood up through this valve, and this is called the pulmonary valve because it's leading to the lungs. Blood goes up through the pulmonary trunk. You'll see a split going to the right side, split going to the left side. The blood is then oxygenated in the lungs and returns to the heart through the pulmonary veins. 2 veins right here from this side, and if we spin around, now we're looking at the back side of the heart, we'll see there's another one coming in through the bottom on the opposite side. Both of those pulmonary veins, let's look again at the front side of the heart, will be draining into this chamber, which is the left atrium. So let's open that up. Blood has now drained from the lungs into this chamber and will be pumped through this valve, which leads to the left ventricle, the biggest one. Notice there's only 2 cusps here, so this is a bicuspid valve. From here, the blood is going to rush up and out through this 3-cusped chamber, you can see it in the back, that leads to the aorta. The aortic valve then pushes the blood up through the aorta, around through this arch, and then out to your body, and then everything starts all over. So I hope this 3D model helped to explain things, and as always, let me know if you have any further questions.